What is up, bros? Me, Josh here, and in this week's episode of Ship of the Week, my series where I go over the ship I've had the most fun playing this past week in World of Warships, some awesome gameplay, and how I have it set up. This week's episode is on the Murmansk. Now, this used to be one of my favorite ships. I still call it one of my favorite ships, but this used back in the day was one of my favorite ships. This thing was absolutely insane. When the AFT changes to World of Warships, kind of affected the ship because of its massive range. It kind of nerfed this ship down decent much, and it wasn't the quite god tier that it used to be, but it used to be too strong anyway. But really, this ship for me has kind of gone way back burner. Back when I was playing with my viewers really early in the game, I kind of got to some higher tiers before them, so I was playing a lot of tier 3s to 4s, 4s to 5s, so the Murmansk got played an absolute lot. So recently, I really haven't been able to play this thing, so I really haven't been able to remember how insanely good this ship is, and it's still insane. Sadly, tier 5s in World Warships, we've been playing those kind of mid-tiers, really get kind of wrecked by matchmaking. I think about, honestly, I think in this ship, 80% of my games, if not more, are bottom tier. But we're bottom tier this game. We're 3 tier 5s in a tier 5, 6, 7 game. And this thing is still absolutely amazing. But this ship has been so much fun, and I really wanted to show how insanely strong this ship can be. And that is the love that I had for the Murmansk back there. It would just absolutely obliterate cruisers, and it still does. The penetration value on the Murmansk is actually much higher than like the Omaha and stuff like that. And one of the strengths of this ship is you can see the gun layout. You can actually shoot 5 straight. So really fun ship. 8 kilometer torpedoes. It has sonar, has all these extra tricks, and a high fire chance as well. And of course, it's a premium ship, so you can run it like a higher level captain. So it's just been so long since I've actually played this ship, and it's still such a freaking beast. So, completely annihilates broadside cruisers, destroys destroyers. It's really accurate, good rate of fire, high fire chance, everything you really want in a low tier, in a cruiser in general. And we're just gonna absolutely make mincemeat of this team right here. Working on the cruisers as much as possible, running priority target on this, so we know that we aren't really getting focused, and just gonna focus down these DDs, especially at low tiers. It's really important to get the low tier DDs off the map because their detectability is so low. And per usual, it seems like your team just kind of disintegrates, and mine did as well. But look, we had sonar, we popped this Minakaze, and we can see those torps way before they would get there. We had some ships kind of focusing on us right now, but I just really wanted to focus on this guy. We know this guy off to our left. We got a bunch of guys are there, and that was a kill stolen from us right there. But I figured maybe I could get a torp hit, maybe, or something like that on one of those guys. We got some pretty low life ships, but really just wanted to focus on these DDs and keep pushing. Now, this thing really doesn't have a weak point. I mean, the main weak point is the cruiser, so that's not really fair to say that's the weak point of the ship. But really it is. It has great guns, it has high fire chance, it has good rate of fire, it's accurate, it even has good AA for tier 5 for the cruiser, some of the best at tier 5. And it just absolutely shreds cruisers, even at tier 6 and 7, especially when ships like this game spoil you with that much broadside. So already we're at 4 citadels, already 30,000 damage, and we snagged the DD, which we were trying for, with the torpedo, and we got our double strike right there. So that was pretty awesome, and was really hoping that we could stand that guy. So we got 2 of them, so 40k already, not too bad, 2 kills, 5 citadels. And I was looking at the map right here, and our team, as you can see above A cap, was just completely stagnant. As this game kind of goes on, those guys proved why there was not much going on right now. They had the advantage with how many battleships and how many cruisers there were, so it was kind of the downside. But there was a reason why not too much was happening over there, and it kind of shows it. But I figured I would just absolutely push. We needed a good trade. In this situation, I know one of their other ships was really low, and I would try to just push and really kind of focus on these guys. So we had a double fire on that guy. We had our 1 DD cap in that cap with a battleship support. So I figured there's some low ships over here. How about I just push this and try to take these guys down and get some good damage in. And I wish I would have paid a little bit more attention to that Congo right there. He's the guy that ends up causing some trouble, but we get a good hit on him definitely. But they have one more DD. We're pretty low on health ships. They have the lead right there. Luckily they had an AFK, a guy that went AFK or something like that, so we were able to farm some extra citadels off this guy. But it's been so long, really, since I played this ship consistently, and a lot of people, this used to be the one ship that I would always recommend for people buying early. You know, people saying, what's a good, you know, starter premium? This ship used to absolutely print credits. It still does really well in credits, but not quite as well as it used to. But, I mean, you used to be able to get consistently 500,000 credit games in this ship with ease, I think, and you know, good damage, good everything, so it was pretty insane. So this is where we kind of go Hawk mode. We're at almost 60k damage, and we're just going to kind of treat these cruisers, we're just going to remind them how good the Murmansk is right here and how much damage we can do. So he's going to sit nice and broadside for me, an emerald, so already he's really fragile. And we really want to focus on the Miyoko right here, because the Miyoko is super strong with its 203s, and so this guy was going to absolutely light me up. Now the Congo's right there, so I figured I would just die in this situation, so I threw up my torps as kind of a Hail Mary, but I really wanted to kill this Miyoko and get him out, because his 203s are just going to absolutely be brutal. But even against Miyokos, doesn't matter. Murmansk has got you 12k or 12 citadels already, no big deal. And just try to finish this and do as much damage as we can. So right now I'm trying to get this trade if I can. That'll leave that Congo. Maybe he'll take a torp or something like that, and we're just gonna kind of YOLO in, get that last little hit, and no. So we actually die, but we get that last little hit in, and 92,000. So kind of the Hail Mary play, but we got a nice little cherry on top with the 8-kilometer torps that are gonna do some decent damage right there. And boom, all 3 torp hits on that Congo. Awesome damage. He takes a flooding. Basically turn that game, I would say, into kind of a losing venture. We ended up getting a massive trade health pool wise, took out 2 cruisers, and put a 3 torp spread into that Congo. So he's going to be super low. The team goes on to win it, and but I mean, look at that. Just in less than 8 minutes, we cranked out 1almost 123,000 damage in less than 8 minutes on tier 5 cruiser. That just shows how strong, at bottom tier nonetheless, that just shows how absolutely strong this cruiser is. But let's bounce back to the port. I'll show you guys what I run on this captain and what I recommend for captain builds. We are back in port, and this is what I run for modules for the Murmansk. Now it's pretty easy. Of course, run premium consumables. Now the spot with the lack of range, the spotter plane is actually really nice. But I do run main armament 1. You don't want to lose the torpedoes, don't want to lose the guns. Now I run the extra AA. I don't think anything else is really needed. I think it's accurate enough, but I think the extra little AA helps. At tier 5, you have 40 AA, so the AA is actually pretty substantial, especially with how CVs are in the lower tiers. You can definitely knock down an extra plane or 2 to hopefully have you take less damage. This thing's pretty maneuverable as well. So the being able to get in and out of those torp drops from manual drop or an auto drop is actually really nice. So that's what I run, and I run propulsion. I feel like you just don't want to lose that at all, the little you do. So pretty basic right there. Now for captain skills, this is my Moscow captain, so it's going to be a little kind of directed towards that a little bit. I'll show you guys what I would change, but almost identical to this. So this is a 19-point captain. Priority target, I think, is a must for cruisers. Extra marksmanship is amazing, especially in this cruiser, for those close quarter combat. Picking up demo expert, I would pick that up first. Picking up concealment expert. Now, I'll have AFT, superintendent, and adrenaline rush as the last 9 points. Now you could easily, I don't think inertia fuse is quite worth it, although you could, but I think at low tiers fire is so important. AFT I still think is pretty solid though for the AA, just to get that extra little bit of help. But the superintendent though, superintendent really isn't worth it too much in my opinion at this tier. Honestly, if this was a Murmansk only captain, the only thing I would switch here is I would switch out superintendent for vigilance. Those low tier DDs, you want to get as much leadway on the torp as you can. So vigilance is going to help there. Yes, you do get an extra sonar. Basically, you're only going to get one extra sonar for this. So I would rather take the overall acquisition of torps with vigilance than just one extra. But since this is my Moscow captain, I'm going to take superintendent. So this is a pretty basic build for this, and that is it for the Murmansk, guys. So this has been my ship of the week. I've been having a blast playing this guy. If you guys have played it recently, let me know what you think in the comments below. Now, it's not as good as it used to be, but I still think it's just an absolute blast. If you guys missed last week's episode of Ship of the Week, we went over the Gneisenau, now the Tier 7 German DD, or the German battleship. I'll put a link down below in that in case you missed it. But that is it for me, guys. Let me know in the comments below what ship you are enjoying this past week, and I will look forward to seeing you guys next time. Remember, like, subscribe, and I'll see you later.